Hello everyone, and welcome to our video. In this presentation, we'll introduce our paper titled, Class-wise Federated Learning for Efficient Personalization. Before we begin, please note that this narration was generated using AI, based on the author's original script. This approach ensures accurate delivery of the research content and prevents any miscommunication due to pronunciation issues. We begin with a brief overview of personalized federated learning and its fundamental problem. Federated learning, FL, enables collaborative model training across distributed clients without centralizing data. This approach addresses situations where data collection is difficult due to high costs and privacy constraints. Federated averaging, also called FedAvg, is a foundational approach that builds a single global model by aggregating local models weighted by client sample sizes. After aggregation, the server distributes the single global model to all clients. The overall process of FedAvg is illustrated on the left side of the slide. However, FedAvg performs poorly with non-independent and identically distributed, or non-IID, data due to its limited personalization capability. As shown on the right side of the slide, a non-IID setting refers to an environment where each client holds only a subset of classes or where class distributions differ across clients. The reason FedAvg fails to train personalized models is that it cannot capture class-specific pathways. A pathway represents a collection of weights connecting the input to the output and shows distinct patterns across different classes depending on class proportions. We analyze how the empirical class distribution affects these pathways and identify two key findings that motivate our proposed method, cwFedAvg. First, using a simple synthetic dataset, we observe that each client's pathway exhibits distinctive patterns, while the single global model produced by FedAvg fails to capture these unique characteristics. Second, based on a theorem that formalizes the correlation between the squared L2 norms of weight gradients and the number of client samples, we found that the L2 norms of weight vectors are positively correlated with each client's class distribution. The visualized results related to this second finding will be presented later in this video. Motivated by our findings on class-specific pathways, we propose class-wise federated averaging, cwFedAvg, a class-wise extension of FedAvg that performs federated averaging separately for each class. cwFedAvg employs a two-step aggregation process. First, multiple class-specific global models are created by aggregating local models weighted by each client's class sample proportions. Then, personalized local models are generated by aggregating these multiple class-specific global models weighted by the class distribution of each client. To preserve privacy, the empirical class distributions are replaced with approximated class distributions, denoted as p tilde. To enhance the effectiveness of class-wise aggregation, model weights, or pathways, must strongly correlate with empirical class distributions to effectively capture class-specific information. At the same time, privacy-sensitive class distributions need to be securely shared with the server. We propose the Weight Distribution Regularizer, WDR, to address these requirements. WDR strengthens the correlation between empirical class distributions and model weights by minimizing the distance between the empirical and approximated class distributions, where the approximations are derived from the L2 norms of output layer weight vectors. As shown at the bottom of the slide, WDR shows its effectiveness. On the bottom left, when training with WDR, the approximated distribution evolves with clearer class separation compared to training without WDR. Moreover, WDR enables accurate approximation of the empirical class distribution. This precise approximation allows the approximated class distributions to serve as a reliable substitute for the empirical class distribution. This slide presents the quantitative results of cwFedAvg on 4 datasets. cwFedAvg consistently outperforms all other methods, except for the SAFAR 10 practical setting, where the gap is minimal. cwFedAvg, output, refers to applying cwFedAvg selectively to the upper layers, reducing memory requirements while maintaining high performance. This slide presents the quantitative results across different levels of scalability and heterogeneity compared to various baselines. In these settings, cwFedAvg consistently outperforms other methods under diverse conditions while maintaining the same communication overhead. This slide presents the qualitative results of cwFedAvg, specifically heat maps illustrating the data distributions and the L2 norms of output layer weight vectors for the CFAR 10 pathological and CFAR 100 practical settings. These visualized results demonstrate how cwFedAvg effectively achieves personalization. That concludes the content of this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you are interested in our work, we warmly invite you to read our paper for more details.